Please bow your head for the blessing. Lord, we thank you for this food and for those at these tables, for the hands that prepared this food, and for those that helped bring us together today for this meal. Please bless our gathering and bless the meal that we will share. Protect us all and help us grow in your love and continue to bless us in our future endeavors. Amen.
Well, welcome everybody. I'm Colonel Rolando Griego. I'm the Dean of Academics here. This is for the most part, first annual, kind of achievement banquet or an award banquet for our Service Prep Academies and Dual Scholars and our Scholars Program as well. So I want to welcome all of you to this experience. But in doing that, I want to recognize some of our people that have shown up and thank them for coming. Major General Grizzle, I appreciate your time here. Colonel Boron, thank you, sir. Colonel Dina Kernet, thank you. Lieutenant Colonel Adam Villegas and his wife Cherie, thank you so much. Christina Stark, I appreciate you coming. Our esteemed people over here let's start with our SAC people, Major Jasmine Small, Captain O'Kane, Major Gomez and her husband Eric, thank you all for coming. And then, and is this Major or Lieutenant Colonel? Can I give you a rank of Lieutenant Colonel? You may, yes. Okay, sir. No. Even though it might be Major. It's Major, okay. Major Steve Duran and his wife Rosie, soon to be Lieutenant Colonel at some point over here. So one of the reasons we're having this is it's not just an honor of you, but an honor of your achievement. Duty, honor, achievement. It reminds me of a story when I was a little kid. And I used to go visit my grandfather. I love going to visit my grandfather because he had this one apple tree and it only had really small green apples that were sour, but I really liked them, would put salt on that. But they were always just so high and I was just a little kid. And I remember going to my grandfather and saying, well, Grandpa, get me an apple. He says, grandson, you're gonna have to figure out how to do it yourself. And so and then he would leave and he'd go watch TV and I had to figure out how to get those apples. And I would stare up there looking at that apple that I wanted and finally kind of hit me, okay, I'm gonna go out and get an old rickety table that was in the shed and I put that there, but it still wasn't tall enough. And there was an old rickety chair. By the way, don't do any of this stuff. This is dangerous, okay? Old rickety chair that still wasn't tall enough and then I put a crate on top of the chair, and finally I crawled up there and I could reach the apple and I grabbed it and I ran inside and I ate it with some salt because I don't know why that was my big thing. The point of that story is that it sort of defined a lot of what I had to do in my entire life as I went through my life. I'm not going to talk about Jane Thompson. Everybody knows about Jane Thompson, who was valedictorian, but one of the things about that is this concept of achievement. I had to work really hard to get all those grades. I had all A's except for one B. Now I'm going to talk about Mr. Marksmiller, though. Mr. Marksmiller is the one that gave me a B in biology, which, had I just done that, I would have been a 4.0 and maybe had a shot at valedictorian. But I didn't get there. Okay, yes, I'm still bitter after all this time, nonetheless. But the point about that is it was a lot of hard work, much like you guys are doing. Hundreds of hours of studying, tons and tons of books that you read and papers that you've written, all the time and effort you did in presenting and everything else along the way. And then it was time off to college, and I was took the slow track because I kept changing majors. 6 times I changed majors until I settled on being a social worker. So it took me little over 5 years to finish up my degree. And oftentimes I had to work 2 jobs, and I was sleeping on an aunt's couch because there was no family member except extended family member. But I made it, and I continued to press on. Didn't do as well academically, but I still did well enough. And then finally went off after that, after my time as a social worker, then I became a military officer. And that's probably one of the hardest things I ever did because it was from 6 in the morning, just like you guys do, except till 11 o'clock at night. We started with 100 officer cadets and only graduated 66, so 1/3 of my class never made it. However, when I threw up my hat up in the air and became a second lieutenant, at that point I honestly believed there wasn't much that I couldn't achieve with my life. And then we fast forward, and I went on, got the master's, and I got the PhD, and that was a lot of work in doing all those things. And the story continues on. The real point of this whole story and this whole thing is that where I came to being Dean of Academics and Chief Academics Officer was because of achievement. And achievement comes through hard work and trial and error and all the effort that you are all doing right now. So this evening is a celebration of you, of your achievement here, because what you've done is nothing short of amazing. It is difficult to be here, even for 1 year, even for 2 years or 4 years, and some of you have been here for 6 years and getting 2 degrees, some of you 4 years in getting 2 degrees. It's pretty impressive, all that you've done. So, I thank Colonel Villegas for putting this on and being a champion for this, because without you, sir, we wouldn't have this at all. So hats off to you as well. So with that said, I forgot to mention Major Chris Tabo. We want to also appreciate your visit here as well. And all our other esteemed faculty that also decided to show up as well, we appreciate. You even get your own table to yourself, so well done, all of you. So with that said, I think it's time to have our dinner, if you will. As we start our dinner, we'll start with our 2 head tables here, 3 head tables, excuse me. So if ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind making your way up there, we'll do that. And when we come back, we'll have our speaker. here for the good work that they've done, because it's pretty amazing. Thank you, guys. At this time, I'd like to introduce Major and also Lieutenant Colonel here at NMMI, and Major within the Army or the Guard, right? As well, to be our guest speaker. Has anybody ever been dropped by Major Tabo? Have you? Look at all the hands have been. I'm still afraid. I'm afraid to walk by him because I think when I go to Bates, I'm going to be dropped as well. I always think about my uniform every time. Honestly, we do appreciate you and the work that you do for us as well. So we asked him to speak because, you know, he's one of our favorite people here because he takes this place so seriously and this place that he's passionate about. And so we asked him to talk to you and some of and speak to those ideas, if you will. So Major Tabo, please come up.
Good evening, everyone. So thank you for the kind introduction. First, I'm Joe Grizzle. Good to see you here. Mr. Stark, good to see you. Fellow cadets, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I would like to thank Colonel Villegas for inviting me to come and speak. Very often, I don't like speaking. Why? Because when I speak, cadets say my voice scares them. That's why I'm not using the microphone. I'm going to use my infantry voice. I'm going to talk about self-management. And the reason I've picked this topic is because I know you guys, the cadets, very soon you are leaving this place. You are moving to somewhere else. And I would like to start by giving you a story that actually happened to me. And I'll use that to continue my speech. When I came to the United States in 2004, I was in graduate school at Eastern New Mexico University. I was just about 1 month old in the US. One of my instructors, Dr. Dean, who's now of late, she asked me, hey, Tabo, would you mind teaching my class today? She had to go for a doctor's appointment. I said, Ma'am, I just came. I'm not very familiar with the system here. You want me to go? She said, oh, you're a graduate student, so go there, make mistakes, and you learn. So I said, okay, I'll take that challenge. She said, okay, this is what I want you to do. I'm going to give you this type of paper because she had given a test. And she graded it. She wanted me to return the papers to the students. So I took the papers when I went to class. As I was returning the papers to a student, if a student did well, I would tell that student, congratulations. Verbally, congratulations. I got to one student, Evelyn. I'll never forget that student. She scored the highest. I think it was 19.5 out of 20. I wanted to tell her congratulations, verbally. Another student distracted my attention. Instead of telling her congratulations, guess what I did? I used the middle finger. I'm serious. This is what happened. I used the middle finger. What do you think that was? Culture and self-management. Why? Because Cameroon, where I was born and where I grew up, if you want to tell someone congratulations, you don't want to talk, you use the middle finger. It means congratulations. I did not know that in the US, the middle finger is an insult. So when that student, when I did that to that student, Evelyn, I noticed that the whole class was like this. I asked myself, what have I done wrong? The student took the paper, gathered everything, and left the classroom. I asked the other students in class, what happened? Nobody was willing to tell me. I thought maybe it was because I mispronounced her name or my accent or whatsoever. Well, I managed the class. Just about 10 minutes, the academic dean, that time was Dr. Erdo, if I'm not mistaken. He came and said, hey, Mr. Tabo, would you mind coming out, let me talk to you? I stepped outside the said, how are you doing? I said, I'm doing fine. He said, how's your class going? I said, class very well. He said, okay, what went wrong in class? I said, nothing to my knowledge. He said, okay. Once a student leave your class, I said, yes. He said, why? I said, well, I told the student congratulations and he left the class. Dr. Erdo could not understand what I meant. He said, okay, you told the student congratulations and he left the class? She left the class. I said, yes. He said, how do you do that? I did it. He said, what? He said, where are you coming from with this? I said, sir, well, I wanted to say congratulations, and all students distracted my attention, and I did this to that student. He did not really understand what I meant by that. What was the problem? The problem was what? I failed to manage myself. Why? Because I did not understand that I was operating in a different culture. Because to successfully manage yourself, you have to be aware of the new environment. Certain things that you may be doing and taking for granted that are working, they may not work in your new environment. In this school, you have gone through our culture, right? You have seen things that we do, things that we tell you to do this way. When you leave from here and you move forward to your respective destination, the first thing I will ask you to do is manage yourself. And one thing you have to do is what? Understand the environment. Be it your teachers, be it your friends, or be it whosoever you interact with. By doing that, you have to know them and you have to ask yourself, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable? If you do that, guess what? You will not find yourself in my situation. Also, self-management. In this school, we talk a lot about what? Time management, right? To manage yourself well, one thing you have to do is make sure you manage your time. Well, I'm giving you, some of you took my class, first year 7, we talked about it. If you go back and read the textbook, chapter 4, it tells you that's the title, self-management. You are going to live from there and move forward, my friends. You may be in an environment where people don't care as we do. Yeah. I'll tell you that I'm proud of the school, I'm proud of what we do, we care for you. But you live from here, you move forward, manage yourself, which means make sure you go where you are supposed to go. Do what you are supposed to do. Otherwise, you will fail. And when you fail, instead of blaming yourself, you will turn and blame the school. That is a lie. I see you do push-ups. Because we are giving you what we think is right for you to succeed, and I trust what we give you. So manage yourself, do the right thing, go to classes. I say so why because I think 2 weeks ago, I was talking with a friend that was in Albuquerque. He told me that there's an individual who graduated from this school. That individual commissioned from ROTC and lost his commission. Why? Because when he left this place, he failed to manage himself. They gave him time to complete his degree and get his commission, everything. But since there was no one to run after him to tell him, get up and go to class or do this, he fell behind. And he lost his commission and got kicked out. I know that is not what we're talking. We get him the best, but he decided not to do the right thing. All of us here, the general, the dean, whosoever is sitting here, we always give you the best that will make you successful, that will make you manage yourself well. And if you take that and move forward, I promise you, you will be well. Because we'll continue to pray and wish that you do well. Then also, to manage yourself, you have to be mindful of the type of people you interact with. You are going to come across people who do the right thing. You are going to come across people who do the wrong thing. I keep going back to chapter 4 in my book writing. One of the topics covered there is what? The backside of alcohol, right? You go back to chapter 3. That talks about what? Taking responsibility. It talks about what? Drugs. Correct? As you move forward, don't interact or don't socialize or identify yourself with people who break this law or who do things that will get you into trouble. If you do that, it means you are not managing yourself well. Does that make sense? Then, last thing, when you manage yourself well, you also have to ask yourself, now that I'm here, who got me from that point to this point? When you ask yourself that question, you say, okay, what can I do to make sure that this person knows that, hey, you did a good job to get me to this point where I am? I am talking now about this school. You may have a different impression about this school or whatever. I'm telling you, the school does a good job. So it is up to you now to go out there and also serve as ambassador for this school. Right? That, hey, come to this thing. You will see people, some will make you do push-ups, some will make you kneel down if you cannot do push-ups. Some will maybe give you good education, because I'm proud of the quality of education we have here. That's what the general and the leadership talk about. I'm telling you, I teach. And that is what we're giving you. We expect you now to go out and sell the school. It is your alma mater. You sell it, I sell it, guess what? Thank you.
Everybody knows him, he's great, wonderful. So we got a little gift for you from all across campus, all across the coast, from alums to ECP, Preps, everybody. This is for you, but we're not done yet. Oh, they're up here, aren't they? We put them up here? Hold on. Messing it all up. So, thanks. Remember, we have no money as a church, right? But everybody has supported us. And so, for the first time in the history of Inman Life, we have a coin for the press. They are nice, sir. Congratulations. First one ever. Congratulations. We truly thank you. Thank you, friends.
Well, thank you, Major Tabo. That was actually really inspiring. I didn't even know that about Cameroon. Now I'm going to be very careful. Actually, I'll compliment everybody now in Cameroon. At this time, I'd like to invite Major General Grizzle to come up and say a few words. This is also obviously his first as well, and so we always appreciate when he has something to say to us. So, sir, if you don't mind sharing that with our preps and others.
As I thought about what to say, I listened to the dean and his story of hard work to achieve things, certainly Major Tebow's story. And so I'll try to keep that theme going and tell you, again, just a little personal story. I've never considered that I'm a smart person. I just work hard, as the dean said. And so after a series of successes in my life, I got tired of people telling me that I was lucky. I'd get a promotion, I'd have something positive happen, promotion in the business world, promotion in the military, and somebody would say, well, God, you were lucky. I really got tired of that after a while, and finally I said, no, I wasn't lucky. I was ready when an opportunity presented itself. And follow on with what Major Tebow said. You don't know when that's going to happen. Like he said, you're here. How did you get there? But more importantly, how do you get over there? That's you, and that's your responsibility. So I had a couple of personal things I made an agreement with myself, whether it was military, business, that I would be ready for the next promotion, the next opportunity. Who knew when it would happen? Now, in the military, you're going to get commissioned. You're going to know so many years as a second lieutenant, so many years of first. But guess what? If you're not ready, you still won't get promoted. Because now in the military, you also have an educational requirement. And if you don't maintain that, you're not going to get promoted. And so I kept all those things in mind as I organized and did things for me. So I went to active duty first, right out of high school. I came back, started college. I graduated, had my bachelor's degree in 1976. It wasn't until 1986 that the Army decided you had to have a bachelor's degree to get promoted above captain. Well, I'd been there 10 years. But more importantly, 1983, I finished a master's degree. So now the Army just said you got to have a bachelor's. I had a master's. The next thing I knew, a promotion was available. 3 of us were considered for an 06 brigade level command. 3 of us were interviewed, certainly because of, hopefully, our performance. Everything looked good. We go in front of the review board. Bottom line, of the 3, I was the only one that had finished my education. These 2 had battalion commands. They were great staff officers. But they could not be promoted to 06. They did not have Command General Staff College. I got promoted. Was I lucky? Maybe. Maybe I was in the right place at the right time. But I think I got promoted because I worked my butt off and I had CNGSC under my belt, and I was the only one available to do that. I could go on and on with stories. So, as now an educator, I developed my own mathematical formula. Luck equals preparation plus opportunity. You prepare, you get an opportunity, you don't mess it up, they'll say you're lucky. Nope, don't believe it because you worked hard, just what you've been told tonight. So, let me thank you again for coming to NMMI. Let me thank you for taking NMMI when you leave here and remembering us. Whether you were only here a year, whether some of you may have been here 2 years, please remember us, stay in touch with us, tell us how you're doing. We want to share your successes for you through our alumni office, through all of the relationships and contacts you make here. So please do that. We wish you the best when you leave here in a couple of weeks, and I'll look forward to hearing about all of the luck you have. Thank you.
If you take a look at your program, you'll see now, we've done all the speeches, we've done all the dinners and everything else, and really it's time for you. We're here really to present to you certificates and awards, including coins, to signify and remember this night and your achievement that you have. So thank you, Major Small Armstrong. She'll read the names, and if you don't mind, you'll come down here as well, okay? And we'll be in the front. Let me just grab this. It'll be easier if I put it down here. Okay. Do we have this as well? Thank you.
The first group that I'm going to be announcing is going to be the dual track graduates. These are students that are graduating from NMMI's high school program as well as from the 2-year college program. Enrique Almeida. Chimamariale Amici. Ivan Bilayev. Alexandra Kammerer. Nicole Mendez. Nok M. Pham. Nok H. Pham. Nicholas Van Loo. Our next group is the Scholars Honors Program students. These students have worked for 4 years, starting as freshmen, to achieve this Scholars Honors distinction at graduation. Chimamerele Amici. Yeah. Sergio Gonzalez. Nicole Mendez. Cheong Nguyen. Okay. Our next group is the Service Academy Preps.
We have them here?
Okay. Ethan Estes. Attending the United States Naval Academy. Joshua Flynn. He's coming back to NIMI next year.
And our youth minister nation. Instrumental. Yeah, one of our preps, that's what we'll talk about. Represent, bud, represent.
David Gleason. He's attending the Citadel Military College. Achilles Guadarrama. He will be coming back to NIMI next year. Eli Heron. Also coming back to NMMI. Gavin Packard. Returning to NMMI.
Now get a haircut.
Grace Picosi. She will be attending the United States Merchant Marine Academy. Daniel Pierotti. Yeah. He will also be attending the United States Merchant Marine Academy.
Be Coast Guard.
Robert Poulet. Robert Poulet. He will be attending the United States Naval Academy. Alexander Reyes. He will be attending the Great Lakes Maritime Academy. Aiden Rogers. Attending the United States Air Force Academy. Ashley Rubiano. Attending the United States Naval Academy. Ethan Smith. Attending the United States Air Force Academy. Christopher Taylor. Attending the United States Naval Academy. Andrew Welchus. Attending the United States Air Force Academy.
So again, this is our first annual time that we've ever done this. And this is, again, the brainchild of Lieutenant Colonel Adam Villegas. I want to give special credit to that. He's been a maverick, and ever since he took this position, you know, everything from, the preps as well, how he, what do you call it, smoke them? Is that the term? And then if you make it through that, then you got to get through Major Tabo's area as well. So it's like a whole part of this whole thing. One of the things that if you heard all the talks and you've seen all the certificates and everything else, again, this is a reminder, this is about achievement. And the question I want to leave you with at the end of this night is, what will you achieve? Let me ask that again. What will you achieve with your life, with your career, with the things that you want to do with yourself? And think about that. Reflect on that, because when you make that decision, you want to pursue it with all your heart and mind. The people here at these tables is because we went through that whole process. We went for the college. We went and did all the hard work. We continue to do all those things. It does pay off. As Major Tabo was talking about, that self-worth and development of what you have to do is what's going to make the difference between doing okay and doing amazing. A lot of it's just about persistence, dedication, and discipline. So with that said, thank you for this evening, and thank you for attending, and all of you are dismissed. What about some of these others?